Hey everybody, it's Tim again, and today I have a Frankenfest for you. Actually, it's just one new figure, this tiny little one here that measures about 3 inches tall. It's interesting. Once in a while a figure pops up, you wonder where they come from, and actually this is part of a Loot Crate shipping, an exclusive, a 1/24 scale figure of Frankenstein that was actually sanctioned by the Universal Monsters brand, which of course is owned by Universal Pictures. And of course, I have to invite some friends to this unwrapping, I guess you could say. We have the Jada Next Level Deluxe Frankenstein with table. Here's just a regular figure. Of course, he is full color. This is black and white. Full color NECA Frankenstein figure and the black and white Frankenstein figure. And of course, I love the look. I love the look of both. I mean, the black and white look is something that's always endearing to me because that's the way the first time I saw him. And then, obviously the color looks good too. The color schemes. These are 6 inches tall. These are about 8 inches tall. Much bigger than this guy. Let's give it a 360 to start with. And if you notice, this thing is wrapped in plastic. Whenever I've seen pictures of this online, whether it be through different boards on Facebook or whatever, it looks like it's almost like a carded figure, but it is not. And I'll explain that why. I'll show you why in a second. So basically, it came wrapped up in this plastic thing here, which is fine. I take these out of the package all the time. I know obviously some people like to display carded figures, so we're just going to unwrap this as opposed to an unboxing here. And what you're going to find is this actually is separate from the actual card. Okay, it still gives the appearance that it's on a card. I mean, you can easily pose it that way, but I thought I would show you what this came in first, just to give you an idea what to expect if you want to get this. Now, obviously, the time has come and gone to get this Loot Crate exclusive, but they are plentiful on eBay, and it really comes down to how much you want to pay for it. I was not willing to pay $20 for it, but I did find something that ran just over $11 with free shipping. So to me, that was a good enough deal to pull the trigger on this deal. So I'm going to give you another 360 of this carded figure. Again, it's not really carded, but it looks pretty cool anyway. I mean, again, if you want to pose it that way, otherwise you can get some regular, some clear tape, some Scotch tape, and do it that way. And what you're going to discover here is this is actually a backdrop. So after this guy winds around, I'm going to take him out of the plastic to show you what this figure looks like. So again, and let's shut this down. It's just a matter of pulling this guy out of the plastic tray, which is very, very handy. And again, you got to squeeze him out of the plastic, which is not always that easy. Of course, with a smaller figure like this, what you're going to get, what you're not going to get, which is cool, are those little annoying little plastic ties and metal ties that you have. I understand why they do it, but it's nice when they just fit in the tray and you can pop it out like that. So here is the figure, and for what it is, this is a very impressive sculpt for a 3-inch figure. You would expect something a lot less detailed, but as close as I can get it and get it focused in for you, you can see that it's definitely got the licensed Frankenstein Universal Monsters look. Now, granted, it doesn't look like Boris Karloff, like the NECA stuff, but again, very, very impressive. Now, what's even more impressive is this thing has more than 5 points of articulation. Okay, you can bend it at the elbows. You could bend it at the knees. It doesn't look like you could. Doesn't look like it has any articulation at the ankles. Again, trying to keep this in the focus for you. But there is articulation at the wrists. which is very cool. Now, what I'm going to do here is, obviously we got a big peg hole in the bottom there, so I'm going to put this guy on there. And I'm going to put him on the stand. And what we have here, again, this is something you just got to take apart very carefully. There's tape there. But it has an actual tiny castle-like diorama for this figure. Now, you notice this little piece of plastic that fell out of here? That's actually to, I would imagine, keep this in place at some point here. And I'm not going to mess with this too much just for the sake of time. But I think you get the general idea. Holds at least one side open. And then you put this guy here. So what you actually get then is a cool little Frankenstein figure with a diorama. So I'm really digging it for the price tag, especially. Again, this is not available at retail. I've done the Loot Crate thing in the past, especially when it comes with Universal Monsters stuff. Haven't been too impressed really with what they put out. If you had an idea that something like this was going to come with it, I would have definitely taken the chance. Right now, there are only 2 of these figures that I'm aware of, and you can keep me informed in the comments below if there are actually more than that. But if you look on here, it says number 1. Okay? On eBay, when I search for other figures, there is actually a number 3, which is the Mummy. All right, and I would imagine at some point, once that thing comes down in a decent enough price for whoever's putting it on the secondary market, I will get that. The big mystery is there a number 2? Where did number 2 go? I mean, and why skip to number 3? If there is a number 2, I mean, I've done some searches, and I can't necessarily find where number 2 is or what it is. Presumably it's going to be something like a Wolfman, or maybe Dracula, or Bride of Frankenstein. But whatever the case may be, it seems like Loot Crate is taking the initiative to make more of these figures, which would be really cool because you really don't see them in this size that often. Obviously, the closest you get with this sort of quality is the Remco Mini Monster stuff. And of course, that's going to cost you a lot of money. And in fact, I mean, look, as nostalgic as the Remco Mini Monster stuff is, this actually has a better sculpt and likeness than that other stuff. Now, granted, you're talking about that stuff being manufactured in the early 1980s, and now we're talking, the tooling and all the capabilities of sculpting, in the late 2019, 2021, 22, 23 range. So obviously things have come a long way there. So I think this is going to fit nicely in my monster collection. And just for the sake of a little size comparison quickly, we have the 6-inch and the 8-inch figure that goes with it. Nice little Frankenchild, I guess you could say, that goes with these 2 figures. So yeah, I mean, look, if you watch this channel, you know that I love Universal Monster stuff. It's my favorite stuff to review. It's what I grew up with on Saturdays. Midnight Horror Incorporated in my area. I know you all had different horror hosts that you watched. But this stuff sticks in your mind because it's so freaking cool. Let's face it. That's why it means so much to us. It just really brought us to a different world way back when. So there is, I guess, a mini review of a very, very small figure, but a very cool figure nonetheless of Frankenstein, a 3-inch scale, or maybe just a tick above that, 3.5 inches, that, again, you should be able to find it on eBay. Make sure to look for your deals because they are out there. Sometimes you'll see number 1 and number 3, the Mummy, together. Again, to me, this works because of the free shipping, because obviously you can get something for $15, which you think is cheap, but if you got to pay another $5 for shipping, then it brings it up to $20. Here, I think with tax, it costs maybe $12. So, for what it is and how unique it is, and probably for how rare it is, I would say that is a heck of a deal. My name is Tim Lammers, and I review cool movie toys on this channel. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Please share this video with all your monster-loving friends, your Frankenstein-loving friends, and I will be back real soon with another toy review, more than likely of the Universal Monsters variety. Happy toy hunting, everybody.